If you are looking up how to make grain-free dog food for a sensitive stomach, then it is most likely because your dog is ill. And we are sorry about that, but we also got you. It is interesting to note that similar to human beings, some canines are also prone to showing sensitivity towards certain foods. It may not be a matter of life or death, but it is never a nice experience when it comes to issues with digesting food. If you are not entirely sure if your dog has a sensitive stomach, then it is always recommended that you have a discussion with your vet. This is important so they can rule out the possibility of your dog being sick due to another illness. A lot of health issues sometimes have symptoms that are similar in nature. So, it is important to know what exactly you are dealing with. If you have done this and you are looking for a recipe that you can easily prepare for your dog, you have come to the right video. Before we go into the recipe, first let us take a quick look at the signs associated with a sensitive stomach. Signs that your dog has a sensitive stomach. Normally, if a dog has a sensitive stomach, there are some classic signs they will show. Notwithstanding, some canines display some signs more regularly than others. It is not surprising seeing as every dog is different and, just like humans, are also individualistic in their nature. Still, if you suspect your dog has a sensitive stomach, then be on the lookout for the following signs. 1. Excessive flatulence. If you notice that your dog farts too much, that is more regularly than is probably necessary, then he/she may have a sensitive stomach. Some prescribed medication can be used to treat this. However, it is always best to solve any stomach-related problems straight from the root cause. 2. Vomiting. For dogs, this is actually quite normal for them, especially when you consider they have an unspoken mantra of, feed first, vomit later. However, it is not normal when they vomit on a regular basis. This is one of the classic signs that point to a case of a sensitive stomach. It is either this or there is an underlying issue with his/her health. 3. Diarrhea. This is another classic sign of a stomach that is particularly sensitive. We have to, once again, point out it does tend to be an issue that affects all dogs and even humans from time to time. Notwithstanding, if it is happening too many times, and within a short amount of time, it is an issue that needs to be addressed. Now that we know the signs associated with dogs that have sensitive stomachs, let us take a look at some foods that help to alleviate these symptoms. How to make grain-free dog food for a sensitive stomach. All you need to do is follow the steps outlined below. Ingredients needed. Please note that these ingredients will amount to approximately 3 weeks worth of dog food. It can last as much as 5 or 6 weeks if you add kibble to it. 1. Raw brown rice, 2 pounds. 2. Eggs x6. 3. Sunflower oil 1/2 cup or 1 cup. 4. Salt. 5. String beans x2 cans. 6. Carrots which have been trimmed and washed. 1 pound. Please note it's best to leave them whole. 7. Skinless chicken breast, 6 pounds. 8. Pumpkin, 1 or 2 pounds. 9. Yams which have been trimmed and washed, 1 or 2 pounds. Please note it's best to leave them whole. Tip: you could try adding the ingredients progressively to your dog's food with each batch you prepare. This helps you to identify which foods cause issues for him. If your dog tends to eat most ingredients, then go ahead and follow the steps provided in the recipe with all the ingredients included. You can also spice up the recipe by adding offal like liver, hearts and so, in addition to the chicken. Recipe. 1. Place the rice in water and boil it using a pan. If you have a rice cooker, then you can use this to cook the rice. 2. In a separate pot that is large enough, place the chicken in first. Next, place all the fresh vegetables, i.e. the yams and carrots. Now, cover the ingredients with the proper amount of water needed. Place the lid of the pot on it. Leave it to cook at medium heat. After a while, the water will begin to boil. Once this happens, reduce the heat so the veggies and chicken can simmer. Leave it to cook for approximately 90 minutes or till you notice all the ingredients are soft. 3. As the chicken and the rice are cooking, prepare the eggs. The quickest method to use is by breaking the eggs inside a bowl. Make sure the bowl is safe enough to be placed in the microwave. Microwave the eggs for a minute. Make sure you stir the eggs at regular intervals each time you put them inside the microwave again to cook. Repeat this step a few times till the eggs are cooked and firm. This step should not take a very long time since a microwave is quite quick. 4. Once all the ingredients are cooked, allow them to cool down. As soon as the chicken has cooled down and you can handle it, cut the chicken into tiny pieces of about ½ inch in size. You do not need to worry so much about getting the chunks cut in precise pieces. Your dogs will appreciate your effort regardless. Once you have cut the chicken into pieces, place the pieces back inside the pot. Since the quantity you are preparing is quite a large batch, you have two options. 1. You can either combine all the ingredients inside an exceptionally large bowl assuming you have one lying around. 2. You can use the large pot you used to cook all the ingredients. Alternatively, you can always mix the ingredients into 2 lots. Feel free to use whichever method you are most comfortable with. 5. You can begin by mixing the rice with the salt and oil. As you add each ingredient, make sure you mix it thoroughly, so it is evenly distributed throughout the food. When adding the eggs, make sure you break them up, so they are scattered throughout the food and not sitting in one huge chunk. Add the vegetables and the chicken as the final ingredients. As you mix the vegetables in, they will break apart, so do not panic, this is normal. You can also include in the mix some of the liquid produced during the cooking process. Make sure it is not too much so it does not become a soup. To make the process easier, use the largest and heaviest spoon you have. If you need help stirring, do not hesitate to ask for help. On the plus side, it is a free fitness exercise for your arms. You can thank us later. 5. Now that you have successfully prepared the grain-free meal for your dog, you can freeze them in batches. You can use stacking containers, which are great since they are reusable. Frozen batches of food usually last for approximately 5 days per batch. Anytime you need to feed your dog, all you need to do is remove one of the containers from the freezer and place it in the fridge so it can defrost. It is advisable you do this at least 2 days before you actually need to use it. This is to ensure there is always a thawed and fresh source of dog food ready for your beloved pet. Tips for switching your dog food. Experts always recommend that owners switch their dogs over to new diets in a gradual and systematic fashion. It is quite necessary to do this for dogs, especially if they have a sensitive stomach. Just because you notice your dog may need a change in his diet does not mean you should do so in an abrupt way. It is always advisable to take it as slow as you possibly can and carefully monitor your dog during the process. A number of vets suggest owners begin the process by feeding their dogs in the following percentage. A food bowl which contains approximately 80 to 90% of the old food plus 10 to 20% of the new food. The following day, make this increase. 30 to 40% of the new food minus 60 to 70% of the old food. Use this percentage increase and decrease of the old and new food gradually till your dog is completely feeding only on his new diet. Normally, this method takes approximately 5 to 7 days. It's important to note that not every dog will be adversely affected by any issues with their digestive system due to a new diet. In most cases, they begin to show encouraging results in a short amount of time. If this is the case, then owners can increase the speed of the process of switching. This is where your good judgment as your dog's owner comes into play. We hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our channel and turn the notification on, so that you will know when we post a new video. Also, remember to visit our site, www.zimgrainfreedogfood.com for more content like this. Thanks for watching.